Hey folks, how y'all doing? Welcome back, an old man in the land of grills. Folks, we're going to do, you read the description today, we're going to do commonly asked questions on pellet grills. And we're going to get a little bit more specific and talk a little bit about ZGrills. The good folks at ZGrills sent me a list of questions that people commonly ask them about their pellet grills. But what I realized when I went through the list is a lot of the questions just pertain to pellet grills in general. So we're going to talk about a lot of the general questions that people have about pellet grills, and we'll get a little bit more specific as to questions people have about the ZGrills pellet grills. So it's going to be a good one, folks. Keep on watching. All right, I think one of the most common questions I get is, does the pellet grill smoke and how much smoke is it? And they burn pellets and they burn wood pellets. Now, there's all different types of pellets. For instance, I've got some of the new stuff from ZGrills, and they have an oak pellet, folks, that I've used. In fact, I've ordered, and it's hard to get because it's a very good pellet. The oak gives a really different taste, and it's very clean burning. There's very little ash from it. But they've got cherry now, they've got apple, they've got hickory, they've got fruitwood, they got a competition blend, they got a whole different bunch of pellets out of there. So you're going to say, well, is it the type of pellet that makes the different smoke? And yeah, there is. So you're going to get a different taste profile from hickory to cherry. So there is going to be some difference. Now, as far as the question as what type of smoke do you get, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, folks, on a pellet grill, the smoke profile is anywhere between light and medium, in my opinion. All right, here's something that's commonly asked. What is a PID controller? So I can never remember the three words that it is. So it stands for proportional integral derivative. And you're saying, what the heck does that mean? And why is it important in a pellet grill? So why it's important is it takes feedback from the temperature probe. That's this thing right here. And it gives it to a little brain box in there. And it gives it feedback. So if you're set at 275 and this thing says 250, it tells that auger and that fan to go on and raise the temp to get that, so it reads 275, and it keeps on giving feedback to this thing to do what you set it at. That's important. On other controllers that aren't PID, it's a time cycle. You say, Tom, what does that mean? When you set it at 275, there's a program in there that says, okay, someone did a little bit of research, and based on 50 degrees outside or 60 or whatever, the auger needs to run at this speed for this many seconds every so often to maintain that 275. So it doesn't take into account the atmospheric temperatures outside, if it's 10 degrees outside or it's 90 degrees outside. And that's why a PID is so important, because it helps to control the temps. Now, a lot of people say because it's so precise that you don't get a whole lot of smoke, because on a pellet grill, it's your temperature variances, high to low, low to high, in the controller that help produce visible smoke. People want to see visible smoke. Sometimes people don't realize that thick, dirty, I call it dirty smoke or sooty smoke, is not the smoke that gives you the taste. It's the clean burning smoke, the stuff that you heard people talk about, the blue smoke, the clean smoke. That's what gives you the taste. So PIDs do that. A lot of controllers are set so when you have it on a smoke setting like this one, that it runs not PID, so you see that visible smoke. That's kind of a marketing thing. Everybody kind of does that because people want to see smoke. So I hope that answered that question. I say, Tom, does ZGrills have PID controllers? Yes, they do. This is a 700 series, and this one has PID, and they have several other models that has built-in PID also. Here's another one back to pellets. I get this card idea. Do I have to use the pellets that are made by the manufacturers? For instance, ZGrills has their own brand, and they will tell you that they would prefer you to use it, but other pellet brands will work in your pellet grill. A while ago, Traeger, and Traeger's a very popular brand for pellet grills, used to put it in their warranty that if you didn't use Traeger pellets, that you would void the warranty. Now, I think they have since taken that out, but folks, I have burned many different brands of pellets in this pellet grill with no issues. All right, here's a good one. Can you sear on a pellet grill? Now, folks, every manufacturer has got a different way of telling you how to sear on their pellet grills, and manufacturers have done just crazy things to to sear on a pellet grill, but there's one thing that they all have in common, and that's this burn pot right here. They all have a burn pot, whether it's in the middle, whether it's off to the side a little bit, whether it's over here, how it's fed. Some of them have augers coming down, some have a little slide, but they all have, that is your heat source right there. And, you know, they all do everything they can to try and funnel that out, but when it comes down to it, heat rises, it goes straight up. So ZGrills, and this is my favorite way of searing right here, is they offer this right here. It's a cast iron plate. The best way to hold heat is with cast iron. So if you have an area, like this is the fire pot right here, or heat to this, the best way to transmit it and hold that heat is with cast iron. So they have this cast iron plate right here. It's double-sided. It's from ZGrills. It's an accessory. And this is the most simplistic way of searing on your pellet grill, folks. And if you have a pellet grill, hang on. I'm not prepared here. Sorry. If you have a pellet grill and you measure the inside of your pellet grill from front to back and it's 19.5 inches, folks, order this from ZGrills and you will be searing and you'll be saying, huh, now that's a simple way of searing on a pellet grill. Here's another question. How do I clean out my pellet grill and how often should I clean my pellet grill? Well, if you're a fan of Tom Horsman at YouTube, you know I clean my grills after every use. But when it comes to cleaning out the pellet grill, the most important thing is clean out the burn pot because the ash goes there. Now there are other brands out there, and I think ZGrills has got one model that does this, that has the bottom of the fire pot has a lever outside the grill that you pull, and the ash will fall down into the cup. And Cam Chef is another one that's got there. There's also some other ones, like for instance, if you were watching Tom Horsman at YouTube and you saw me previewing the A-Smoke brand, they actually have some stainless steel grate at the bottom that allows the ash to fall through, which is pretty cool. But the majority of the time, what you do is you wait till the next time you're going to use it, or the next morning till all the ash is cool and there's no embers in there, and you take a shop vac and you vacuum the dust out of that pot and any dust that may be in the surrounding area. And that's really all you have to do. Some people do it every 2 or 3 cooks. Folks, I do it after every cook. All right, the next common question is, where does the grease go? So you want to get the grease out of the grill. That helps prevent having grease fires. So you got a bucket, and that bucket collects the grease. And you see, they make disposable aluminum liners that go in there, so it makes cleanup even easier. And then in your grill itself, there's a trough right there that collects the grease and it goes down that tube into that grease bucket. Now, you have a grease tray. And the grease tray, oh, sorry about that. The grease tray goes on the grill like that, like this. And it is purposely angled, so it's sloped that way. Now I cover mine in aluminum foil, makes cleanup a little bit easier, but it's purposely, so anything that falls off the grates hits here and goes that way. Goes in the trough and then goes into the bucket. And that's what helps prevent grease fires. All right, here's another pellet question. People ask this one all the time. How long do the pellets last? And I said, well, there's so many variables there. What's the temperature that you're cooking at? The ambient temperature outside. How often are you opening up the lid to take a peek? There's so many variables. Now, I've done all-night cooks and had plenty of pellets left over. This is over a 20-pound hopper right here. It'll fit over a 20-pound bag. And if I'm at 225 on this, and say the ambient temperature outside is 50 and it's not windy, I'll easily get 12 hours and maybe even more out of the pellets. Now, if you're cooking at higher temperatures, say for instance you bump it up to 300 or 325 and you leave it at that, you probably get closer to that 8-hour mark. But it's also going to depend on the type of pellets, because there's hardwood pellets and there's softwood pellets. So I always tell people, try and look for a good hardwood pellet. And if it's 100% hardwood, it's going to be good. All right, how do you change pellets out on a pellet grill? So folks, good question. Some pellet grills have the ability to do that. This one does, by loosening this up and flipping that up and putting like a 5-gallon bucket underneath there. You can collect your pellets and you can change flavor types of pellets. Everybody does it a little bit differently, but a lot of brands have that, some don't, but ZGrills does. You know, Tom, some pellet grills have a chimney and some have holes in the back. Which is better? So there's so many schools of thought on that. The ones that just have holes in the back, they're claiming, the manufacturers are claiming that it produces more even heat throughout. I live in the Midwest, and the holes in the back for me are a problem because the wind and the rain and the snow gets in there. So I like to have a pellet grill that's a little bit more enclosed on inside and has, you know, what we call a rain cap right here that is adjustable, so you can adjust that. So, you know, if you're asking me what I would prefer, that's what I prefer right there. Where are pellet grills made? Folks, the majority of them, even though some of the most popular brands, are made in China. They just are. Are there some 100% American-made ones? Yeah, there are very few. There's even some that claim they're American-made with globally sourced material. That would be our friends over at Weber say that. So, you know, China, folks, that's where they're made. All right, the last and final one is, Tom, what's your favorite pellet grill? What's the most favorite pellet grill you've ever cooked on? I get that all the time. So right now, 2021, folks, I like the ZGrills. In fact, this one right here, I call it the best pellet grill for 2021 based on what it's got in. It's got a PID controller. It's got a lot of cooking space. The price point, it's not crazily priced. It has a lot of good engineering in it, and it has a lot of good and ample cooking space for a reasonable price. So if you're asking me in 2021 which pellet grill I would recommend, it's right here. ZGrill 700 series, folks. I'll leave the link down below to the review I did on this grill, and I'll leave the link to ZGrills. And folks, I'll tell you what, tell me your questions. I'll answer every question as long as they're clean. I'll answer your questions. And if you have comments on the answers that I gave today, feel free. Let me know. Tom Horsman at YouTube, please subscribe, thumbs up, and leave a comment, folks. And as always, I can't really say it enough, folks. Without you, this wouldn't be happening. Thanks so much.